Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tessie and today we're going to be recreating this dress. If you're new to my channel, you're welcome. If you're yet to subscribe, kindly do that and let's get right into the video. So for this tutorial, I will be making use of this fabric and I have with me 3 yards. The fabric is called a Duchess. So I'm making use of 3 yards. So we'll be cutting the front first. So for the front, you need to fold your fabric into two. You're folding it into a triangle this way, then you chalk your shoulder line. So from this point, I'll get my shoulder divided by two. So the shoulder divided by two is like 7.5 inches. So I just came down to like 9 inches thereabout. Then I'll connect this line as my starting point. It will serve as my shoulder line. So after chalking my shoulder line, I'll place my shoulder divided by two, which is 7.5. I'll place it at that point, and from that point I'll come down to my armhole line. So my armhole is 9 inches, but I'll be making use of 8 inches since it is a sleeveless. So from that point I will connect it into a straight line. So the next thing I'll be doing is placing the full length of my dress. So the full length of my dress is 34 inches. I added 1 inch for folding allowance. This fabric is a bit hard to work with. So from the shoulder line, I'm just going to chalk the full length of my dress. So I'll chalk it all around. So go ahead, take the full length of your dress, connect it all around, just as you see me do. So guys, after checking the length of your dress, what you need to do is to connect them together. What I'll be doing next is chalking from the shoulder to where I want the opening to stop. So for me, I want my opening to stop at 8 inches. So for my shoulder, I chalked 8 inches. Then I'm going to give it a curve. So it depends on how wide you want it to be. But my advice is do not make it too wide. Just curve it a bit. Then after curving, I'm just going to blend in the curves. So this is what it looks like. So what I'll do next is at the shoulder area, I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. So I'm just going to connect my shoulder and then I'll check what I have at that chest line area, divide it by two, come in by half inch, and then place my bust measurement divided by 4 at the chest line. Then I'll curve in my armhole. So after curving in my armhole, at the chest line, I'll place 2 inches for my sewing allowance. Then what I'll do next is from that chest line, I'll connect it all the way down using my ruler. So I'll just place my ruler and then connect all the way down. So guys, after connecting, I'm just going to blend that line. So what we're going to be doing next is from this point, we're going to curve it into the armhole. So from the shoulder, I'll come in by 3 inches, depend on how full you want this area to be. So I'm working with 3 inches. And then from that 3 inches line, I'm just going to curve it in. You can curve it in. It depends on how open you want the chest area to be. I don't want it open, so I'm just going to make mine straight. So you can see how I placed my ruler, and then after placing my ruler, I'm just going to connect it. After connecting it, I'm just going to blend it into the armhole. So guys, we're good to go with the front. As you can see, what I did was at the shoulder area, I came in by 3 inches and then curved this into the armhole. So what I'll do next is to cut out my fabric. Guys, if you've watched the video to this point and you're yet to subscribe or like the video, kindly do that and let's get right back. So after cutting out my front, this is what it looks like, as you can see. So what we'll be doing next is to cut out the back. So for the back, I also folded my fabric into a triangle, as you can see. And what I'll do is to place the front on the back. So in case you are adding a zipper at the back, go ahead, chalk your zip allowance, then you place the front, but I will not be adding a zip at the back. My zip is just going to be at the side of the dress. So guys, you can see the back. So the back is a bit deep. So what you need to do is just fold the front to the chest line area. So you fold it to this point, just as you see me do, and then you cut out the back. So I'll go ahead now to cut out. So just fold it to the chest line, then you cut out the back. Hope you understand. So guys, this is what it looks like. We're good to go with the cutting of this dress. This is what the front looks like, as you can see. And then for the back, this is what it looks like as well. So guys, for the back, I don't want mine too deep. In case you want yours deep, from this chest line area, just curve it down a bit. So it depends on how you want the curve to be for the back. I just want mine straight. Hope you understand. So what I'll do next is to cut out facing for each of them. So for the facing as well, I'll fold my fabric into a triangle and then place my front on the fabric. So after placing, I'll go ahead now to cut out the exact thing I have. Then my facing is going to be short. I'm just going to shorten it a bit. So guys, this is what it looks like. So what I'll do is to open up the front and place my facing on it, right side facing each other. So what I'll do firstly is to turn the this circle part. I'll go ahead now to stitch using 1/2 inch. I'll go ahead now to stitch all around. After stitching, I'm going to be notching the part that I stitched, and then for the armhole area as well, I'll go ahead now to stitch. Then for the back, you can choose to fold and then stitch, or you cut out a facing or use a bias. So I cut out a facing, I'll place it right side facing each other and stitch using 1/2 inch and then flip it to the back. So we're good to go. After stitching, this is what it looks like. So I use my Emmy gum to fold the edges, as you can see. So I also fold the edges of the back as well. So what we'll be doing next is joining the front and the back together. But before joining the front and the back, we need to cut out a band for the neckline for the front. So for the band, I have 7 inches. So on fold is going to be 3.5 inches. We're going to be using 1/2 inches to stitch, and the band will be 3 inches. So for the band, I have 45 inches. So what I'll do is to fold my band into two. So I'll fold it into two and then notch the middle part of the band. Then I'll notch the down part as well. So that notched part is where I'm going to be placing at the neckline of the front. So I'm just going to place stitch it and then use this to turn it and then turn the band as well. So I'll go ahead now to stitch and show us what it looks like. So this is what it looks like after stitching. We're good to go. So what we'll be doing next is joining the front and the back together. So I'm going to place the front and the back together, right side facing each other. So I'll go ahead now to pin it down, and I'll flip it to the other side as well and then pin the other side down. So after pinning it down, what we'll be doing next is shaping. So at the chest line area, I'll take my bust divided by 2. I'll shape it straight down. So I'll go ahead now to shape. So guys, after shaping, this is what it looks like. So I'm going to be adding my zip, my invisible zip at the side. And then after adding my zip, I'm going to be weaving the down part, and then we'll be adding the feathers to it all around. I'll do that and show us the end result. So guys, this is the end result, and this was the feathers she brought. So we added the feathers at the down part of the dress using a gum, and this is the back view. As you can see, you can tell in the video that she loves the outcome. Hope this tutorial was helpful. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, drop a comment, follow me on Instagram and on TikTok at Sowites. Bye.